Covering news where you live, this is 5 News.
Well, thank you for joining us here for the latest news and weather where you live. I'm Joe Ellison. A new study is now showing Arkansans are facing more challenges when it comes to getting child care. The Annie E. Casey Foundation released their Kids Count study on Wednesday. It reveals that nearly 15% of Arkansas children lived in families where someone quit, changed, or refused a job because of child care problems. That's among the worst in the country. The study comes after President Biden signed an executive order back in April looking at ways to make child care more accessible and affordable. Well, before we get to other news of the day, let's get a check of that weather on this Thursday with meteorologist Zach Scott. And Zach, it looks like we might get some sunshine today.
Oh, we're going to get a lot of sunshine out there, Joe, and that means it's going to be a hot day for us. Mid to upper 80s up to 87 degrees northwest Arkansas, upper 80s to low 90s River Valley, south into the Ouachitas. Not much of a breeze out there, a variable wind, about 5 to 10 miles per hour, so not going to get to enjoy a nicer, stronger breeze. Mix in that air up, make it feel a little more comfortable out there. It's going to feel like a hot mid-June kind of day. With that, we're going to get some instability to build, and there will be a trigger for showers and thunderstorms further out towards the west. They're going to start this afternoon out in the Panhandle, southwestern Kansas. Then they're going to be forming into a large complex of storms and shifting off towards the east and southeast. As they do so, the potential for some significant severe weather across the western half of Oklahoma will be in place. Afternoon, evening, late evening, first part of the overnight. We're talking 9-10 p.m. to about 2 to 3 a.m. That's going to be the main window that we'll see that shower and thunderstorm activity shifting into eastern Oklahoma, western and southwestern Arkansas. The further southwest you go in 5 Country towards LaFleur County and the Ouachitas, the higher the chance for severe weather you have later today. Here we go, Joe. We're tracking out those storms again, developing out towards the west, southwest Kansas, back into the Panhandles, forming a complex of storms, shifting east. Strongest storms late evening, first part of the overnight, likely shifting near and south of the I-40 corridor. Still could get some strong wind gusts and some thunderstorms in northwest Arkansas. We'll continue to see the storms pressing off towards the south. Northern half of the thunderstorm activity is going to start to weaken a little bit and fall apart. Then we'll still have a lingering isolated thunderstorm chance for Friday afternoon. Active pattern we're stuck in, Joe. We'll continue to track it the next few days.
So much, Zach. Well, the city of Rogers now pledging support for police pay raises. The city has already set aside funds to raise entry-level police officer salaries to more than $55,000 per year. The city council passed the resolution with 7 council members voting for it. The resolution also notes that monthly incentives were paid to police officers during the first half of the year. This was done while the city assessed starting pay rates across northwest Arkansas. And cancer centers are feeling the effects of a drug shortage as some are being forced to reduce doses of certain types of chemotherapy. The American Cancer Society says the shortage has become a serious issue for some patients. Highlands Oncology in Rogers tells us that the shortage hasn't directly affected them yet, but say their supply is running lower than usual. Now, Dr. Schaefer with that Highlands Oncology says doctors are often able to prescribe chemo substitutions that are equally as effective, but in some cases, specific drugs are critical.
Patients we're intending to cure with the treatments, we need to make sure they get the FDA-approved indications. For other cancers that we can't quite cure, but we're trying to help prolong life, we have a little more ability to substitute other medicine for them. But people that we know we're going for the cure, it's critical that they get the drug that they need.
The American Cancer Society says the FDA is working with manufacturers to get to the root of what's causing the shortage and increase production. And a warning for dog owners. Northwest Arkansas veterinarians are reporting a spike in respiratory illness cases, specifically canine influenza. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer shows us steps you can take to keep your dog safe.
These dogs are like our family.
Mandy Marshall owns Hounds Lounge Pet Resort and Spa. As Northwest Arkansas vets see a spike in reported respiratory illnesses among dogs.
I'd be lying if I haven't cried over this.
The Fayetteville Dog Boarding, Daycare, and Grooming Facility is taking extra precautions. Of greatest concern, canine influenza, which is highly contagious.
When I learned that canine flu has finally made it to Arkansas, I knew that it was my job to communicate and educate pet parents all across Northwest Arkansas.
Marshall says Hounds Lounge has no confirmed cases of canine flu. Even so, staff here has ramped up cleaning efforts.
We're using bleach like crazy.
And the facility is not accepting new clients.
The reality of it is that some other facilities may have shut down. We don't want those hoppers that are coming from other facilities to come in here and be contagious to our furry guests.
Marshall says communications with clients and local veterinarians is key.
We try to treat for the symptoms and make sure that it doesn't progress.
Dr. Sandy Jernigan is a veterinarian at Hancock Veterinary Services of Springdale. She says common signs of illness include cough, sneezing, runny nose, and drainage.
But they should still be eating, drinking. They should not be lethargic. They may sometimes run a fever. So if you're noticing signs that are getting worse, just make sure and get to your vet.
The infection can spread from dog to dog in multiple ways.
Close contact from grooming facilities or boarding or dog parks definitely increase the risk.
Dr. Jernigan recommends getting your dog vaccinated for influenza. However, that vaccine is in short supply.
We essentially have been out of the vaccine since February and haven't been able to get our hands on any. A lot of the dogs that would normally be protected don't have access to that vaccine at the moment.
A concern not only for Jerrigan, but also Marshall, who's unsure when she'll be able to once again accept new clients.
I have no idea how long this is going to go.
In Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Lauren Spencer, 5 News.
Well, thank you for joining us here today for the latest news and weather headlines where you live. I'm Jo Ellison. Make sure to catch up with us again tomorrow right here for more. Have a great day.